What is up, my friends? It is another episode of Dynasty Pylon, just coming at you with an IDP waiver wire. If you haven't figured out yet, just coming at you late. I know it's kind of late. Typically we go a little earlier, but there's still time. If you're still looking at your rosters, you know, it's week 6. We're coming into week 6 hot. By now you can figure out the studs and the duds by now, but there's still some guys coming in with injuries and coming in with with their breakouts and stuff. So I mean, we still have eligible guys. So I'm not gonna take too long. But if you're here with me or soon to tune in, thank you. But let's just kind of break down into the defensive lineman first. So I some of these guys already have. So let's start with the defensive lineman. Sorry, my bad. Let me put that up there. So I'll have Everson Griffin, in no particular order either. So I have Everson Griffin coming out of Minnesota, definitely putting up 72% of the snaps with 3 solos, a tackle for loss, a sack, and a hit on the QB. I mean, definitely it's something you want to look at. 72% of the snaps. Like I said before, I said this last week, and that's why he's highlighted in yellow. He was on our waiver wire last week. Here he is again. Um, he's putting up numbers. I know this doesn't look big, but I know and eventually with DLs, it's kind of they're on the lower tier numbers, guys. But I mean, this definitely is for sure one of those guys you want to definitely look at. But 72% of snaps, that's definitely something you want for sure because you know they're out there. My second guy was who I think I actually had before, maybe a couple weeks ago. His snap percentage went down a little bit, but it's still Gregory Rousseau. He's a rookie on that Buffalo's defense, man. He's only 5% rostered, so I think this is why I probably put him more than likely on my IDP waiver wire list. But 4 solos, 1 assist, a pass deflection. My man's got an interception, dude. So that was pretty dope. A tackle for loss and a sack and a QB hit. So definitely give it up for the big man up in Buffalo. Definitely is going to be a threat for many years. I think that if you're playing Dynasty, this is one of those guys you definitely want to get. Definitely, I mean, he's probably already drafted, and it's probably going to be hard to get him. But I think definitely, I think this is one of those guys that you should probably want to get for sure on your lineup. We're only at week 5, and he's already kind of putting up some pretty solid numbers as a rookie. So that's for sure one of those guys you definitely want to check out and get on your lineups for sure. So oh crap, I just lost it. So let's go with the third one I got is Trey Hendrickson out of Cincinnati. 80% of the snaps. Um, you know, this guy, he's pretty much qualified. Like he's like that main leader of the defense right there, that line. 80% of the snaps, he's for sure there most of the time. And like I said, you want those guys that are out there, more than 50% of the time. So 2 solos, 2 assists, a tackle for loss, and 2 sacks, and 3 QB hits. So that's for sure good on his part. My fourth guy is Matthew Judon. I kind of like if you're on sleeper, this guy's definitely doing a lot better here in New England. He's in that system. He's there 90% of the time. He's also linebacker eligibility. So definitely kind of interesting. If you're on sleeper, you can put him at DL and you can put him at LB, kind of give you that flexibility, which is kind of nice. Trust me, I love having guys like that. You could put in the DL or you could put in the linebacker. If you have a better matchup with the DLs, definitely put them. If you have a better matchup with linebackers, a better matchup with another linebacker, you can throw them down into DL. So definitely kind of play with that. And then my last guy, I've had him here before. I think on my first week or second week. Look, Aaron Donald's blowing up the line, right? He's doing what he does every year as we see it. He's one of the best. But Sebastian Joseph Day is the guy right next to him. So what is Aaron Donald doing? He's blowing up the line. He's making the way for for Joseph Day to just run through there, and he's there 77% of the time. So 3 solos and 5 assists. I mean, some of those could have been easily solos. So yeah, for sure. Uh, I think that this guy should already be in people's lineups. If not, if he's there, probably definitely try and pick him up for sure. I like him, but I know for myself, I have Miles Garrett, so he's kind of like the leading rusher right now. So I kind of this guy would just basically, in my opinion, for me, I would probably just more than likely just snag him for a block for my opponent not to have him. But this guy definitely his numbers are going to grow. And I think with Aaron Donald being healthy, and those two are just absolute beasts right there. They're giving running backs and quarterbacks just a headache every week. So he's one of those guys I feel considered like should be snagged. So in other notes though, my bad. So I want to say that our IDP number one guy was Kevin BYARD. Kevin Bard was he did pretty good in ours. I know our system is a little bit different from most. If Jordan Reigns, if you're watching this, man, awesome. I mean, you're the main reason why I do IDP. You're the man, dude. Feel free to criticize me if you ever watch this at any moment. But I don't follow the IDP 1 2 3, and that's okay. I mean, it's however you feel like you want to put your scoring system. It's up to you. For us, we do solo tackles as one and assist as half and pass deflections as one. So kind of like the DBs would have their one to the solo tackles. It's kind of even. I don't know. We just kind of disagreed on this. But for sure the IDP Army for sure has the IDP 1 2 3. Their system is different from what we have, but I kind of like this. That's just the way we run it. So 24 points, not bad. Definitely good for the top DB. I mean, we've seen better numbers, but he was just essentially the IDP of week 5. So I just shout out. He's on my thumbnail. So 24 points. That's basically like QB numbers, kind of. So yeah, I just quick shout out. Every week I have the number one guy, and since he's a DB, I'm gonna lead into the DBs right here, right now, leading with Nazir Adderley out of the Chargers. He did pretty good. I've been kind of keeping an eye on this guy. Necessarily like I have Jeremy Chin, and he's not putting the same amount of numbers uh, that I've expected last week. Hopefully, with this week, with Gilmore coming in, with the good corner, kind of opens up a harder protection, brings up a harder defense, so that way Jeremy Chin can slide in and potentially snag an interception here and there. Good corners are complementary to good safeties, so when you have a good corner, it kind of opens it up. It makes it easier on the safety. They could double them, or like I said, he could just come in and snag that interception because he kind of has that secondary look, rather than being man to man. So yeah, I'm kind of considering this guy myself, maybe even Quandre Diggs. Obviously, not Trayvon Diggs. That dude is snagged everywhere. I mean, if he, Trayvon Diggs, if he's in your waiver wire, dude, like pick him up, man. IDP is he's got like I think like 5 interceptions already. So I mean that's pretty good. He's definitely making the Cowboys making good defensive plays there. So my second guy was Tracy Walker. So Adderley, my bad. So seven tackles. I have it up right. 7 tackles, 1 assist, and a tackle for loss. Definitely, make. He's out there 100% of the time. So you can't argue against that. Another guy who's out there 100% is my number 4 guy over here, Von Bell in Cincinnati. 8 solos, 1 assist, and 3 tackles for loss. And what does that tell me? That means he's up in the box. So if he's getting tackles for loss, you definitely one of those could easily be a sack and easily get you mad numbers for sure. Yeah, I like guys in the box. Tracy Walker, Adderley, and Diggs. They all seem to be pinning in the box. Tackles for loss, like you love that with these guys. They play up close. They play dirty with the receivers. So that's definitely something you want to look for. Tracy Walker's my other guy. As he had seven solos, 2 assists, pass deflection, and a tackle for loss. So that's for sure. Almost identical Adderley. So and Detroit, they're not doing so hot. I know record wise, but they're losing by like this much. Like every game, one of these games they're gonna pull a win. I'll be happy for them. I know right now Tracy Walker's kind of like that stud. Um, I know Barnes is kind of like that stud there, and sometimes there's key guys that just kind of excel, and the rest of the team they're just irrelevant. So, but Tracy Walker's for sure one of those guys, and he's out there 84% of the time. So for sure, I like him. I would not mind him having him on my lineup. So my other guy was Kyle Duggar. I think he's also D line eligible if you're on sleeper for sure. He's only 1% rostered according to Yahoo. So 45 snaps and 76% of the time. Kyle Duggar is like a 5 solos and 5 assists. I think he did that already a few weeks ago already, but I'm pretty sure I mentioned him before a couple weeks ago, but for sure, I like Kyle Duggar, man. He's okay. He's not too bad. Necessarily for me though, I have Collins who I might end up dropping for Duggar, but I again we'll see. IDP fluctuates, and what's up, man? Uh, just doing my IDP, man. Just doing getting the week 6 in. Tomorrow for sure we'll talk more offense. I'll definitely hit up most of your questions for sure too. But for the IDP goers, if they see this tonight, pick up the waiver wires. I did it kind of late, but there's still time. So if you're getting off work and you see this, cool, man. Just leave a comment below or something. Uh, Hit like and subscribe because tomorrow I am by. You definitely want to be here. Tomorrow we're giving out our reveal prize for our 100th subscriber. I know we're a little early, but at least it's going to amp it up. I think people are going to like what we're giving away. So for sure, if you come back tomorrow, myself and Mark are going to be giving away well, I can't tell you now, but we'll have our no question today. Just had to say what's up. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. But yeah, come back tomorrow for sure, and potentially win yourself. Yes, yeah, exactly. Thank you, producer. Tank, some free goodies for sure. Yeah. Uh, so, anyways, let's go back to it. So, Kyle Duggar, like I said, definitely someone you want to look at. Um, so let's go into linebackers real quick. I know that's the main what everyone wants to see is what everyone wants. It's like the QBs on the defense, right? Linebackers. Okay, so I know you. The very first one like everyone's kind of sees here. You have Jalen Smith. He's 12% of the roster. Why? Because people haven't dropped him yet. Because he got picked up very quickly. Why is he my number one? Well, again, no particular order, but he was my first one that I kind of thought of. I know it says 0 across the board. He didn't play a game, but he's going to make his debut in Green Bay, and I think with him and Campbell and Jair Alexander, I think that he's going to make his presence well known. He's a good linebacker. I just think that the talent in Dallas, there's quicker, younger, faster guys than him and kind of outpaced him. And I think that's why he was just the odd man out. But I'm not saying that he's not a bad player. Well, and in Dallas, he kind of looked like he was, but he's not a bad guy to have. But try gamble on him, snag him, put him in your lineup if you want. I mean, that's definitely a risk, but see how they utilize him. See how well he does there in Green Bay. They're facing the Bears. And my other guys from Chicago, if you didn't watch that, they were just talking about the Bears earlier. They're not too high on this matchup. They hate Green Bay. It's a rivalry. But yeah, check them out. They just got done finishing up their show not too long ago, but it was definitely the Pan and Grizzly show. Definitely, check them out. It's descriptions but down below. If you're a Bears fan, 100% check them out. Marvin is a hilarious guy. I like watching him. I like messing with him too. So, um, other than that though, the Nerd Huddle we do our morning spike Sundays. So, but yeah, they were mentioning Jalen Smith, that they don't like that he's going to be there, but I'm excited for it. Why? Because I do IDP. So, all right. So let's get into the second. Hassan Reddick, former Cardinal, went to Carolina. He's doing pretty good there. 84% of the snaps, six solos, 2 assists, one pass deflection, tackle for loss, and 2 sacks and 2 hits on the QB. That's definitely something you want. He's being used 84% of the time. He's getting 2 sacks. He's getting some of those sacks could have been those QB hits could have been more sacks, but he's definitely there. Look, Carolina defense have a lot of chefs in that kitchen, so it's kind of difficult. But at least the guys you want to see is Hassan Reddick and Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson's probably gone. Brian Burns is probably gone. But you could probably easily trade for some of the guys. They work really well with each other. I know Jeremy Chin is definitely probably one of the first rounders. Jeremy Chin did a little bit better this week, but with Gilmore there coming, and then Henderson coming in, I think that these guys are going to produce a lot more assists, a lot more tackles, and I expect a lot more interceptions. So definitely check that out for IDP. All right, so I have an offensive question here. So start Gaskin, Devontae Parker, or Boyd at the flex for full PPR. So um, Gaskin surprised me. Definitely, we were all waiting for Gaskin. Gaskin definitely just kind of like we were like nothing, nothing, nothing. I know Malcolm Brown was in there week 1, so I like Gaskin if he can produce that same amount of number. Devontae Parker or Boyd at flex. So I typically like having a running back in the flex just because they have that catching that pass catching ability there at the check down. Um, Honestly, Boyd or Gaskin. I don't like Devontae Parker here. And why? Because I understand Tua is coming back, supposedly, right? I would wait till Friday injury report to see if he's back or not. Um, but as of now, Brissett had a hamstring issue. He got carted off and then carted back in. Yeah, so definitely keep an eye out for the report on Friday. So I personally like right now Gaskin. Um, just because, like I said, if it's Brissett still, definitely Gaskin. But then let's see who do the Bengals play? Bengals play Detroit. Ooh, I like that though. I do like that. And then Miami plays Jacksonville. So either way, the good matchup. Hmm. Either way, I think you can either go. I'm gonna still say Gaskin. Boyd isn't a bad option. If ranking Gaskin 1, Boyd 2, Devontae Parker 3, just nah. Just if it's a percent. Jacoby's not the same Jacoby we saw from last season, so no, it's not the same. All right, so bars and tuck. Hey, what's up, dude? Uh, Left field question of the week. My league full PPR gives points for return yards. Ooh, cool. I have one of those too. So should I pick Jamal? Dude. All right. So Jamal Agnew, since he's been getting targets now, the Jags. I like that. I've actually considered this. Picking up Jamal Agnew in another league that have that. Um, with the return yards and punt return yards. Um, I don't think this is a dumb question at all. And left field, it's definitely the Jags D to double up if they get a return touchdown. Yeah, for sure. Now that DJ Chark is gone, this opens up Jamal Agnew, and we just saw what just happened. So I think that it's worth it. And if it's full PPR, I would pick him up. I'm in a situation where I just can't. I have too many good receivers. I just picked up Kadarius Toney. I picked up Kadarius Toney last week, so unfortunately, like I have Ridley, I have Pittman as right now. Like those are just like my guys that I just had the bench. But I had Ridley, DJ Moore, Kadarius Toney, Pittman, and then my other receivers were Ayuk, who I'm kind of waiting on. But yeah, dude, I thought about Jamal Agnew. If I would pick him up, yeah, why not? I don't think anybody else is going. Everyone's going to gun for Kadarius Toney. So I have a free spot with CH on IR. Hell, it's in London game where anything can happen. Yeah, dude. For sure. We saw what happened with Jets with the Falcons. So which ties into your Jamal Agnew. I would, man. I would not be like, oh, he picked up Jamal Agnew. No, I would be surprised, and if he might be a good flex, well, maybe not a flex. Put him in your starting position, because if you actually get him and you want to put him in a actual wide receiver slot. Don't ever put a Thursday game or an early game such as Sunday morning in your flex. Don't ever do that. Just if you haven't, I mean, you probably already know that, but if you don't, just in case, don't ever put the earlier games in the flex. Put the later games, like Mondays or the later night Sunday games, into the flex. I like doing that just because of some injury report comes out. Oh, hey, they can't make it, or they're questionable, and then they decide game time decision they just can't make it. So for sure, definitely put in that guy into the earlier actual spots for receiver. But yeah, I like that. Jamal Agnew for sure is definitely worth target now. All right, so I have another one. So trade Edmonds for Claypool. My receivers are Bobby Trees, Robert Woods, Cortland Sutton, Jones, and Chenault. Ooh, so you have two guys on the same team. So here's the thing about Jones and Chenault. I look at their targets. I think Chenault might be the guy eventually rest of season, but what you could do with Jones and Chenault, try trading them away, one of them, because I know for the past 5 weeks you've been questioning yourself. Who should I put? Jones or Chenault? Jones or Chenault? And Marvin Jones and Chenault are on the same team. So I mean, I don't think you've been putting both Marvin Jones and Chenault at the same time, have you? But and your running backs are Zeke, Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, also Gaskin on waiver. Should I pick him up? Ooh, Gaskin's well. So if those are your three, and Gaskin's on waiver, yes. I like to have four running backs going into these bye weeks. It's going to be a bloodbath. All right, these next couple of weeks, it's going to be bye weeks galore all the way to like week 14. So definitely pick up another running back. I don't like the fact Elijah Mitchell could be potentially benched if Hasty comes back off injury, which is coming soon. Hasty's coming soon, probably in the next week or two. He's going to come off IR, and then what if he overtakes the starting position, Elijah Mitchell? Now you're down to Zeke and Gibson. Gibson has that questionable. He's been questionable every week. So, and I have Gibson myself. Every week he comes in. I look, it's questionable. Now it's his shin that he's playing through it. What if it progressively gets worse? Now you're down to Zeke. You know what I'm saying? So potentially, what's going to happen? Maybe Gibson needs another week. Maybe Elijah Mitchell gets benched by freaking Hasty that comes in. We don't know this, especially with 49ers. They have been doing some crazy things. Ayuk is apparently not as good as last year, apparently, which makes no sense to me because we've all seen it. I don't know what Shanahan's thinking over there. Um, I would pick up Gaskin. At least gives you four running backs to going through these bye weeks, and it changes up and gives you a little perspective. Maybe if Houston plays a weaker, if Miami plays a weaker defense, maybe throw him in. Gibson's doing decent. Zeke's been doing decent, and I know you've been probably putting both of them in. And I know Elijah Mitchell's not really relevant right now because we don't really know. He is the number one now. We don't know if Hazy's coming. That's what I'm scared of. So I definitely would pick up Gaskin for sure. But originally your main question was trade Edmonds for Claypool. With Juju gone, that makes Devontae Parker and Claypool the main guys. But the fact that you do have the four running backs now with Edmonds, I don't like Big Ben's arm right now. And if he gets cracked here soon, and then we have Mason Rudolph come in, I personally wouldn't, because you have Woods and Sutton who's doing okay. This has to be like a 14-man league or 12-man league, huh? I would see if you can maybe flip Jones or Chenault for another receiver. Or maybe if they're hurting on receiver, but you have Edmonds. And I see why you're asking this, because you're kind of like about receivers, Andrew. But I wouldn't. I just wouldn't, because Edmonds still puts up numbers right now. They're not great numbers, but they're decent enough to get you by. Um, let's see, Edmonds compared to Gaskin. Let's see, we have. Let me look up Edmonds real quick. So, sorry. So, I just think, like, with Connor being the main guy, like, essentially you've drafted him for Edmonds being the essential RB1. But it seems like Connor is just sneaking into the goal line play right now. Last week he did pretty good. I wouldn't, man. I just really wouldn't. I would see if you can maybe try with Jones and Chenault, see if you can sneak away with something else, because with Agnew coming in, he might take in some reps. Yeah, I don't like that. I know Claypool is gonna eventually be the guy, maybe, if Ben can get it to him. But there's just that line is just horrific, and it seems like Harris is getting everything. So that's just my opinion, but take it or leave it. Um, but I mean, if you want more opinion tomorrow, my co-host is coming in tomorrow. See if you can probably ask that. I'll ask him this same question tomorrow and see what he thinks. But yeah, tune in tomorrow. He comes in, and maybe his opinion will probably change it up. But I wouldn't do that, just because I don't like Big Ben's. Like, Big Ben should have retired already. I'm sorry. He's just done, dude. It's not it's not the same as what we're used to seeing. So sorry, Ben, but your cure is kind of washed now. I haven't seen him do anything crazy extravagant yet. So yeah. So anyways, back to where I was at. Again, that's a no for me. Just keep your running backs. It's gonna be into a bloodbath next couple of weeks for bye weeks. So I am talking about IDP, but yeah, shoot your offensive questions. I don't mind that at all. But right now, where did I leave off of? Hassan Reddick, Christian Kirksey out of Houston. Um, Houston kind of has some good players there in defense. So if you're playing IDP leagues and you're hurting at linebacker, Christian Kirksey's actually doing pretty good. He's there 100% of snaps. Zach Cunningham is nowhere to be found. It seems like Kirksey just took over. 6 solos, 6 assists, a pass deflection. So he's definitely dropping its coverage. I like Christian Kirksey. I just feel like, maybe if you're hurting at linebackers, sometimes, like I've said this before, get your studs on the duds. Houston's definitely a dud defense. Seems like everyone's just running and running all over them, but there are guys that produce, but they're just the only guys that produce. As a whole defense, they suck. And Reggie Ragland out of New York Giants. Look, it seems like all the linebackers there are getting their work in ever since Martinez left. So for IDP purposes, 5 solos, 2 assists, and 1 pass deflection and a tackle for loss. Uh, if he's another linebacker there, definitely pick him up. See if you want him. He's not. He put him names for himself. He's there 77 in the snaps. So I think he's okay. And in deeper leagues, he'd be all right. I still would keep an eye on that, but I'm just right now. I'm not too big on Giants IDP guys. It seems like they just kind of all over the place. But their linebackers, besides the linebackers, they are doing all right. And then last week I mentioned this guy JOK, Jeremiah Usu-Komora, 3 solos and 1 assist. His snap percentage is growing. I do like that. He's at 91 now. So I definitely like that as the rookie coming in. He's going to get more snaps. He's going to be more relevant in fantasy, and this is why I have him there. Last week I mentioned him as well, so that's why he's highlighted yellow. So yeah, guys, if you guys are like confused on what the hell I'm talking about, basically IDP is basically a individual defensive players. It's really interesting. You definitely can watch both sides of the ball. It's really fun. Try it out, or look it up. Kind of see how the numbers work. I mean, I can show you what Kevin BYARD did this week. That was his percentage, and this is just his stats that he earned for this week. So if you're confused on what I'm talking about, I know I had some offensive questions, but these IDP guys definitely it's definitely worth a watch. It makes both sides of the ball very fun, especially when your running back is head-on collision with your linebacker. That's practically double points. Why? Because he ran into your linebacker. You get the tackle, maybe the tackle for loss, but hopefully it's on the plus side. But yeah, it's definitely something worth trying next season. I know probably because you're not in it right now, or if you're doing IDP now, perfect. You're here for a reason. So, anyways, tomorrow, we're gonna get into the Thursday games and talk about whatever. Hopefully, you get your waivers in. I know I came in kind of late tonight, but there's still time, so I figured I might as well just do it, right? Who knows? Maybe you're up. It's 9 o'clock right now at Arizona. Who knows? I think it's like 11 or 12 Eastern Standard Time. I'm not too sure. I know with fall coming in, it's gonna change. So, but yeah. Anyways, tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be giving. Tomorrow we'll be revealing our giveaway. So when we hit 100, it's really cool, guys. Definitely, I think. Definitely, I mean, it's free, so definitely something worth checking out. Come back tomorrow, like and subscribe, you know the deal. But yeah, for sure, come in, check it out, and just talk football, man. It's all about fantasy football. We're going into week 6. It's all right. Week 6 is coming, but then we have 8 more games. So yeah, definitely worth a lot of football left. Don't worry if you're like 0-5 and 1-4. It doesn't matter. There's still time. There's you can still turn it around. Last year I was 2-6 and finished at 7-6. So yeah. So uh, definitely don't give up. There's still some hope. So anyways, that's it, guys. Like I said, this is just an IDP waiver wire. I didn't really jump into offense. Offense is pretty much everywhere in their mom's basement. You can find it everywhere. Just type it in week 6 waiver wire, and I'm sure you'll get some offense somewhere. But I focus on IDP just on Tuesdays. Tomorrow we'll talk offense and defense. But as I did today, it's fun. It's cool. Yeah, I don't mind. I love fantasy football. This is what I do. So, anyways, thanks for coming in. And have a good night, and thanks for watching, guys.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.